Saturday, he will be attending the ASEAN Leaders Summit in Jakarta, his first official overseas trip since seizing power in a coup. Brunei, the current chair of the bloc, has invited regional leaders to discuss the crisis in Myanmar. It will have the unenviable task of forging a consensus, as member states will need to release a joint statement. Already, a coalition of civil society organizations based in Indonesia is up in arms over the invitation of General Min Aung Hlaing. Some of these organizations include Amnesty International Indonesia, Asia Justice and Rights, and Asia Democracy Network. The network wants Myanmar's seat to be given instead to the shadow National Unity Government. The NUG includes members of Aung San Suu Kyi's ousted cabinet and representatives of ethnic minority groups and other allies. It has been demanding that foreign powers accept it as the only lawful administration. The military government, though, has declared that the NUG is an unlawful association. The announcement was made via a statement carried by state broadcaster MRTV on Tuesday. The death toll from the anti-coup protest is also hotly disputed. Myanmar rights group AAPP reaffirming its claim that more than 730 people have been killed since the coup on the 1st of February. But the military government has issued its own count of 258. Myanmar's military government has reportedly imported $15 million worth of Russian radar equipment, and this happened in February. That's according to the Moscow Times. It's being seen as yet another show of support for the coup from Russia. A deal was made in January for Russia to sell military equipment to Myanmar when it was still under civilian rule led by Aung San Suu Kyi. It's unclear if the February sale to the military government is part of the January deal. Russia has pledged support for the Myanmar military government during a visit to Yangon back in March, seeking to strengthen ties and vowing deeper military cooperation. And still ahead on Asia now, what the George Floyd murder trial verdict could mean for race relations in America. And we look at what could be an historic year at the Oscars for the Asian community.
Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, or Unity in Diversity, Indonesia's national motto. It's mind-boggling to think that Indonesia's founding fathers had the audacity to unite 500 ethnic groups across this huge archipelago. But it is precisely its diversity that made Indonesia what it is, rich in every sense of the word, and unique in many aspects.
Tiny island in a tough neighborhood.
International relations for a small country like Singapore is absolutely crucial.
50 years ago, countries of Southeast Asia were in conflict with one another. 50 years hence, we live in a security community within ASEAN family.
Singapore is more than just a busy port. It's a leading capital for the maritime world.
Construction of the integrated resorts at Marina Bay Sands and Sentosa Island was a game changer for Singapore.
This represents the Singapore story, our dream, that we created something from nothing.
This is my home, only I can protect it.
When disaster strikes in Asia, Singapore is the first port of call.
Literally, the second I turned around, I saw a wall of yellow and orange.
There was an emergency exit, but it was engulfed in flames. I turned back to look for Alan, and he was terribly burnt.
It was one of the worst earthquakes in Nepal in nearly 100 years.
Doctors who have gone beyond the call of duty.
Our team have never faced disaster of such a magnitude before.
We had to act fast. We had to act decisively.
Are you in or not? You need to answer me now.
To save lives that hang in the balance.
We could not rely on conventional methods and had to be creative.
I got a call to come back to the hospital, which made my heart stop.
Into the Unknown, Doctors on Call, premiering 2nd of May, Sunday on CNA.
macet, an Indonesian word that describes Jakarta's notorious traffic congestion. The introduction of the MRT is a definite game changer, and hopefully macet will be a thing of the past for Southeast Asia's biggest capital.
Safari Ismail, CNA, Jakarta.
The top stories this hour. A second wave that has come like a storm. But India's Prime Minister holds off from imposing another countrywide lockdown. But a state of emergency to be declared in Japan's Osaka prefecture, the third there since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, as local authorities signal a severe shortage in healthcare facilities. Found guilty on all 3 charges, former police officer Derek Chauvin, convicted of murdering George Floyd, in a case that has sparked anger and action over racism and injustice in the United States. Let's pick up on that story, and it's one that has set off a reckoning over race in America. A white police officer in Minneapolis who pushed his knee into the neck of an unarmed black man, keeping it there for 9 minutes back in May 2020. Now, Derek Chauvin has been convicted of murdering George Floyd.
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. State of Minnesota, County of...
The racially diverse jury took just 10 hours over 2 days to return guilty verdicts for all 3 charges against Chauvin. The case sparked protests not only in the U.S. but worldwide. The incident also stirred debate on police brutality and reform. Chauvin's lawyers argued that drugs and poor health caused Floyd's death. But prosecutors urged the jury to believe what they saw in a video that went viral. Chauvin could face decades behind bars when sentencing takes place some 8 weeks from now.
We have seen Rodney King, Abner Louima, Oscar Grant, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland, Philando Castile, Laquan McDonald, Stephon Clark, Atiana Jefferson, Anton Black, Breonna Taylor, and now Dante Wright and Adam Toledo. This has to end. We need true justice. That's not one case. That is a social transformation that says that nobody's beneath the law and no one is above it.
Join relief as George Floyd's family received the news in Houston. They welcomed the guilty verdict, but LaTonya Floyd says it will not bring her brother back.
I thought I was going to lose my life when I got that news. And I got sad to see him handcuffed and walk out of that courthouse like my brother was handcuffed. I told him he has no more power. He's not in control anymore, but my brother is in control. We can never get him back. 27 million, it don't matter. We can never get him back.
Happiness also outside the courthouse, where crowds greeted the trial's outcome with cheers and tears. Security had been tight amidst worries the outcome could trigger more protests and unrest. The lawyer for George Floyd's family called it a turning point in history, tweeting that painfully earned justice had finally arrived for the family.
I honestly thought that, another guy was going to get away with something that he should have never done in the first place. And I thank God that somebody finally stepped up and did right.
I celebrate this verdict, and we got a lot more work to do. I think it's important for white people to continue to let people know that we are here for the cause. You're not alone. And if more white people will come out, the better.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have hailed the guilty verdict against Derek Chauvin. Mr. Biden says racism is a stain on the nation's soul, adding such a verdict was much too rare in the United States.
Today's verdict is a step forward. I just spoke with the governor of Minnesota, who thanked me for the close work with his team. I also spoke with George Floyd's family again. A remarkable family of extraordinary courage. nothing can ever bring their brother, their father,